This was done by the White House Preservation, and it's really very cute. Here's your cover. It's called President's Play. We don't play too much, right? And it says, "Let's visit the White House." So exciting. Remember when I was maybe even much younger, but when I was growing up, we had a book, Run, Spot, Run. That was the title of the book, and every sentence was of that complexity. I think this is a little more. It wasn't too hot. This is much more exciting, yes. And this is Lyndon Johnson and Ronald Reagan. Two presidents, very different type presidents. And it said, "This is Lyndon Johnson, the Oval Office. All the presidents work hard here. I think the presidents all work hard, but sometimes they take a break to have fun and exercise like Ronald Reagan. He was in very good shape. Lyndon Johnson wasn't into shape, but he was a very tough cookie, a real great politician. He found himself in a position of power, and the Ronald Reagan was a high-quality person. And he was he was just like your father was president. You know, you looked up to him. He was a good-looking man. He was a man with, I think, was very highly respected by a lot of people. Here's a man, President Harry Truman, it says, took walks. He'd walk right outside the White House and take a walk down the street. Although Washington, D.C., with the help of your husband and others, has become a very safe place. And then you have President Bill Clinton ran on a special jogging track. He had a little track built for him at the White House. That's nice. I didn't even know that until recently, but he had a track built at the White House. I don't think I'll ever do that. I don't see myself doing that. I don't know. But, he's actually was a nice guy. I like Bill Clinton a lot. I still do. And then you have President Abraham Lincoln rode horses. He liked riding horses, and that's great. I'd like to ride horses too. In fact, it gives me an idea. But when you fall off a horse, I've seen too many bad things happen. That's fair. Falling off horses is not good. No, it's not. So, well, we get a nice old horse that's extremely slow, lazy, and maybe right. Anyway, father and son presidents. And that's George Bush, his father. They would like to pitch horseshoes, the Bushies. And here's a John Quincy Adams. He was one of the very early presidents right at the beginning, and he swam in what was called the Tiber-Tib Creek, which I don't know if it exists anymore. In fact, I think we're building a beautiful ballroom on top of it based on this picture, the Tiber Creek. Then we have an indoor pool was built for President Franklin Roosevelt. That's right over here. That's now the press room. And he was our longest-serving president, had 4 terms. And he was, respected. He was on the liberal side. In fact, because of him, they made a 2-term Gerald Ford. Gerald Ford was actually a pretty good athlete. He was a football player, maybe Michigan, one of the good teams. And he was a man that says an outdoor pool was built for President Gerald Ford. And that's right on the side of the house. I don't get to use it. I don't know if I look good in a bathing suit. I haven't had a bathing suit in a long time. I'm too busy. It'd be nice. I'm looking at these pictures of people swimming and I'm saying, I don't know. You know, my attitude is, you're at the White House for a short period of time and it's an honor to be here.